We're going to have a quick unit on Albert.io. Just like CodingBat, Albert uses Java instead of C++, so there will be some differences between this and what you're used to seeing in CodeHS. We're going to talk a little bit about those differences in this video. The first thing you're going to need to do for this first assignment is to set up an account. The easiest way to create your account would be to click on the link or the button in Schoology and choose Google. Clever doesn't seem to work very well for this page. If that doesn't work, you can always go to www.albert.io/classes and enter the code for your class on the screen. When you get into Albert, you're going to see the screen that is on the left behind the other picture, and it just lists the different assignments that are assigned to you. If you click on the assignment, the second screen on the right is what pops up, giving you a little bit more information about the assignment. When you click Start Assignment, it will take you to the questions that you're going to be answering. Quick about the rules for Albert. You cannot use a compiler to run the code given to you in the Albert questions. If I notice the copying and pasting, then we will be having a talk. When you're doing the Albert assignments, consider data types, truncation, rounding, and mixed mode math, which I don't really know what that means, so you may want to Google that. While you can't use a compiler when answering questions in Albert, a calculator is okay and recommended. Also, feel free to do scratch work. Get a piece of paper, write down anything that you need to think through on the paper. It helps a lot whenever you're trying to come up with the answer. You are allowed to collaborate with other students in our class when you're doing Albert assignments, but you can't outright copy the answers. That gets both of you a 0. So Albert questions, being all in Java and not C++, look somewhat different, especially how to do input and output. In C++, you'll see the cout, cin, you'll see the iostream header file, and you'll be using namespace standard. But in Java, to output something, you're going to use system.out.print or system.out.println for printing to the console. So println adds a new line character at the end, and I remember that because println just adds a new line at the end. You can use either one, just if you need that extra new line, then you're going to want to use println. You also use input. In Java, you do java.util.scanner. That's commonly used for reading input from the console. And you're going to have to use the java.util.scanner class. You have to import that. So rather than using header files, you're going to use the import function. Some of the key differences between the two languages: C++ uses those little angle brackets with cout and cin, whereas Java uses methods like print and nextInt with system.out and scanner. C++ uses the hashtag include to include headers, and Java uses import for importing different classes. C++ uses namespaces like standard, which is the one we've always used, while Java doesn't have a direct equivalent, but organizes codes in packages. C++ allows manual memory management, which we've never really messed with too much, while Java uses an automatic garbage collection. And in Java, everything resides inside of a class, while C++ allows top-level functions and variables. Functions are called methods in Java. And now that we're getting a little bit further in C++, you'll see both of them referenced in C++ as well. You're going to ignore the keyword static in the function or method headers. If you want to output in Java, the syntax again is system.out.println or system.out.print. And then whatever you want to output goes inside of parentheses. In Java, the keyword final, and you are going to see this on this first set of questions, is used to indicate a constant instead of const. Concatenating works just the same in Java as it does in C++, using the plus mathematical operator. And if you remember using the .length methods in CodingBat, that's going to be the same thing that you're seeing here to get the length of an array. You're going to use dot length, not with parentheses like we use in code HS. And then in Java, 2D arrays are declared with the data type, 2 sets of square brackets, and the name. And then we set it equal to new int. And then in those square brackets, you give it the numbers, the number of rows and the number of columns. Your first assignment in Albert is data types and calculations. The link is on Schoology, as well as in the assignments section of albert.io. So you're able to access it either way. It's going to look kind of like the screen on the left, where it has all the questions listed down the side. It gives you the code and possible answers on the other side. So wonderfully enough, it doesn't take super long to complete all of this. Good luck.